Hello, YouTube land, and welcome back again to another Halloween film review. This time I'm going to do a double build review of two films that Mr. Aaron Pynn, my dear pal Aaron, had sent me for my birthday this past May. So of course, just like with Rob the Movie Collector's two films of Dead and Buried and The Burning, I waited until Halloween to do the review for him. So it's the same thing with these two films. But before I get started, and I'm also going to upload this on the Horror Globe. At least if I remember to, but most likely I will. I really want to keep that channel going. So I really hope a lot of you folks that are part of the Horror Globe, you know who you guys are. Hope you guys have some content going up. Okay. I won't say who, but I hear that there's going to be possibly some singing involved. So that'd be fantastic. Um, and a message to Kurt. Yes, I did get your text. Yeah, I just checked it. So you and Destiny have a new review up. So I look forward to checking that out. So once I'm done with this, I'll go check that out, as well as various other folks that I kind of have to catch up on, especially with Aaron Pynn. But I'll probably hit like a couple of videos of like a Trey Passer. I think I'm slightly behind on Paul's videos and on Joe's videos. I think there might be like a few. Night of the Creepy Monster Squad, I don't know if she put up something new. She might have put something new since. And Slytherin Snapes 85, which is Mark's wife, Killer Nerd 75, is also part of the Globe. And Slytherin Snapes 85, I believe I invited you to the Globe like last year at some point. So if you're interested in doing some horror reviews, that'd be fantastic as well, Heather. And you mentioned about if I had seen the innards of Snow White and the Huntsman, the Steelbook, the Best Buy exclusive. No, I had seen it at Best Buy. I had it in my hands, and then I bought it at one point, and then didn't open it because I was worried I might need the money, and I did, so I had to return it. So I don't have it anymore, so I don't know what the insides look like. So if you do want to make a video and showcase the innards, I would greatly appreciate that, and I do have to catch up on your work as well. And last but not least, Almantrix Alpha, Josh. I would love to do another um, dual review with you, via Skype. I just got to figure out what two movies, horror related. I want to try to have one be like uh, an absolutely gory, sick film and pair it up with like a kid friendly film, do a double build review that way. Okay, so I think the kid friendly one, I'm thinking like a Goosebumps film, something from, R.L. Stein's Goosebumps. Okay, and to all you guys, I should, I won't mention the specifics. You guys know who you are, but I'm going to try to at least get at least like two of the packages, if not maybe three of the packages out this Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay. Okay, so let us begin. And yeah, I'm going to be drinking this. I believe this is a beer, Lager Special. Yeah, I actually found this in the corner down in the fridge. Only one left. I've been out of beer, so I got to go buy some more. I'm not a drinker, just so you guys know. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I only drink, occasionally, like maybe one beer, like if there's like a party of, which it's not very often, except, for my dad's parties, really, for special occasions. And really, whenever I do drink, when you see me drinking here, that's because I'm drinking it for the show. Okay, I'm drinking alcohol for the show, for this review. Kind of eases me up a little bit too, and just to add some flavor to it, some ambiance. Okay, so here we go. This is the okay. Oh Jesus, I hope I didn't shake that up. I do hope this is okay. Okay, perfect. All right, so that's good. So here we go. By the way, it's October 13th, 2014. The time is 9:37 p.m. Let me get some of this alcohol going into my system, okay? Not a heavy drinker, guys, so this shit, it hits me hard, okay? Don't drink a lot. I'm a small guy. I'm like only 5'1", okay? Sometimes I say like I'm 5'2". I think that's with shoes on, but technically I think I'm just 5'1". I'm not tall, guys. Mm. Mm-hmm. All right. It's about half. That should hit me at any moment. Excuse me. Okay, so now let's start off with the film I saw last night at about midnight. And the other one that I'll be reviewing is the one I just saw maybe about an hour ago. The first one is Corruption. Yeah, Corruption. Peter Cushing in Corruption. This is sent to me, of course, like I said, to Mr. Aaron Pynn. Go ahead and shoot on over to his channel, sub to him if you're not already. Um, and I've never seen this one. Now, I'm a big fan of Peter Cushing. I love him in his, like, his Hammer films, of course, as Van Helsing, uh, paired up together usually with Christopher Lee as Dracula. The Scars of Dracula. Um, what else? Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, although that's not Christopher Lee, or Dracula AD 1970, 1979, I think it is, or 1978. I have it, but 1978. No, that's also not Peter Cushing. There's Brides of Dracula, also. I think another guy played Dracula, like Peel, something Peel. Um, Satanic Rites of Dracula. Excuse me, Jesus. Um, yeah, but anyways, why am I getting off on topic with Dracula? Oh, there was one film that starred Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee together, which I absolutely love, and they're both on the same side. As far as I know, that's really the only one where they're on the same side. Is Horror Express, and I love those, films that take place on a train, whether it's horror or like film noir, mystery, or whatever. Absolutely love it. Just love the train setting. Love how the scenery is always changing. So yeah, but anyways, back to Corruption. Okay, so this is a really, really good one, guys, and I've never seen it. I kind of had my eye on this one because I saw it's Peter Cushing, and then Aaron Pynn was kind enough to just send it to me for my birthday. Um, it starts off with Peter Cushing plays. Does it say his name? I can't remember now. I think it's John, and he's a doctor, and his wife is oh God, I can't remember what his wife's name was. It might have been like Leslie. God, I can't remember, guys. But okay, so Peter Cushing. Okay, he's this doctor, and he's marrying this woman who's a very, very attractive model. He goes to some hippie party. I think this is in the 70s, guys. So there's hippies aplenty. This is what I love about Peter Cushing. He fits in no matter what role he's playing, and he was still a classy regardless if he's with like a little bit more younger woman or even a younger woman or like a more older lady, that's more age appropriate to him. There's just something about this gentleman that just, take a look at, how he fits in with, Star Wars, how he's Grand Grand Moff Tarkin, okay? Absolutely loved him in there. Um, and as far as I know, the Empire is a good guys, okay, is a good side. So, hey, he was higher than Vader, and he was a bad guy. It was Yoda who was, and the Jedi's who were evil. Anyways, going off topic. So he's with this model, and he goes to this hippie party, and he wants to leave because he just doesn't fit in. His fiancee, because they're not married yet, or were they? Were they married? No, no. Yeah, that's right. They're gonna marry. So his fiancee, she wants to still stay, and then I guess like her old photographer wants to take pictures of her. So she's getting these photos taken, and he wants to leave, and then the photographer is kind of being a jack off. So this fight breaks out between Peter Cushing, John, okay, Doctor, Sir John. And for some reason, I think he's known as Sir John because I saw in the credits and it said Sir John. Um, he fights the photographer, and they knock over this hot lamp, and it falls on her face. Okay, so then they call the doctor. Next thing you know, she has this massive scar on the right side of her face. Okay, um, so now Peter Cushing is really determined to try to do these skin grafts and fix her face, so it would be you know how 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 it used to be, without any kind of scarring. Because when you see it, it's pretty scarred up. But really, it's not that that bad, okay? But still, I can understand if you're a model. Okay, fine. Because I'll explain in a minute why I say it's not that bad compared to what happens next. So he comes to this conclusion. There's the petroleum patola or something like patola gland. He has to remove it from the back of a skull of a human female. So he first tries it out with this corpse, and he extracts it, and it works for a while. I think it only lasts for like a few days. So they go on vacation, and their vacation is cut 10 days short, and they come back, and she's wearing this veil over her head, and her sister asks, what's going on? What's the problem? She goes, what's the problem? What's wrong? She lifts up the veil, and then you see her face is starting to, the scars have come back. So then she runs into the room. Now Peter Cushing, okay, he's pissed. Okay, he's well, not, he's upset. So now he figured, okay, you know what? It's got to be fresh. So what he does is he goes out and he murders this hooker. He goes up into a room and murders her. There's two versions of that. The one I saw, I didn't know. Okay, I guess apparently I saw the U.S. cut, not the uncut. So I went back and I saw both cuts, at least for that part, because as far as I know, the only thing that makes it uncut is that first murder. There might be little things here and there, but I don't know. Maybe one day I'll go back and watch the complete uncut version, which is the international version. But he kills this whore. Now, in the cut I saw, which I saw both cuts, but the first cut that I saw, he just stabs her. That's all you see, and then you see something. You see him using the knife, which he uses it to, he cuts off her head. Although you don't really see it, and he takes the gland. In the uncut version, it's a different woman, I believe, playing the horror. She takes her clothes off completely. I believe you see bush, and you see tits, of course. And he's about to leave, and then she doesn't want him to leave, so she's trying to get the money out of his bag and finds the knife, and then this struggle takes place, and he ends up killing her quite brutally. And you see him, kind of stabbing her, and he cuts off her head. Although it doesn't really look like, it's not that graphic. I mean, I can understand maybe back in those days, it's considered graphic, but it wasn't too bad, at least for me in any case. And the point is, the result is the same. So then he fixes her up again, and then it ends up that it's always just it's always just a temporary solution to the problem, because the scars keep coming back. Now, you're killing all these people just to maintain your beauty. It's not worth the cost of a life, okay? I can understand if you're taking off of dead people, maybe that's okay. But really, I think, Peter Cushing, he's that brilliant of a doctor that he can come up with some kind of, some sort of a compromise between getting it completely fixed, and how it was when it scarred, and come up with some kind of fair result where something where she could live with. It won't be perfect. Her career was winding down, and it's not like she'll need the money. She's marrying the doctor. She could have a good life, and just have her face, have like maybe some minor scarring. And that way, it can kind of add character to your character. Because what I always say is this: even when I'm making RPG characters for like role-playing games, I always like to have some kind of imperfection with the character. Because if you have a perfect character and make them uber all the time, what's the fun in that? And same thing goes for women. It's the imperfections that make a woman perfect, in my personal opinion. Okay, that's my motto. That's what I say, okay? If you find like some absolutely perfect girl, that's perfectly fine too, but it's interesting when you find little imperfections like that, like with the scars. And just like with RPG characters, I like to have weaknesses to them, give them a weakness. That's why I love characters like Captain America, Daredevil being blind, yet his blindness, it heightens all his other senses. Captain America, he's more better than a human, but not nearly as powerful as someone like Iron Man or Hulk or Superman. Get it? He has to try a bit. Bullets would still kill the man, but at the same time, he's more powerful than your typical human. Okay? So that's basically what this thing is about. It's him just going off killing people. There's a woman he kills on a train. There's a fantastic chase sequence where there's a woman that she's like a young girl that's kind of staying at their house for a while, and the wife is saying that to kill her, but Peter Cushing doesn't want to do it. He won't have it anymore because he said, okay, it's one thing because the other woman, she was a whore, so kind of justified that way because she's kind of like evil. Okay, this one is just an innocent young woman. She has a whole life ahead of her, and he just doesn't want to take a life anymore because he took an oath where he's a doctor. He's supposed to preserve life and not take it. But she's furious about it, and she's become obsessed. And in a way, it kind of reminded me of like Friday the 13th, the series, not the movies, not with Jason, but the series. Okay, with Jack Marshak, Ryan Dahlia, and Mickey Foster, where they're finding a cursed antique. And matter of fact, there's an episode similar to that where I think it's called Master of Disguise, where he has to kill someone and put their blood in this makeup kit. And when he puts it over his face, it heals all his scars. So it's kind of similar to this. And the fact that it kind of made her face back to the way it was, better even, she kind of became obsessed with it. And in a way, is kind of driving Peter Cushing insane, driving him mad, pushing him to do these things when Peter Cushing wants to quit. So it may have started off with Peter Cushing doing something wrong, but just when he wants to get out of it, because he was kind of pushed to it with his fiancée, he kind of went over the edge as well. But she more so than he, I thought. She did a fantastic job as well of portraying a woman who's gone insane. So I love how there's that gradual change between both of these characters, how they're changing. And slowly going insane and going mad and being obsessed with with what getting the scars repaired. So anyways, with this woman, it turns out, you know what? I'm not going to spoil it. Yeah, you just have to see it, and you'll understand. But you find out that maybe this woman may not be as innocent as she seems. The scene does change, the tone of it, when these robbers kind of break into the house near the end, and it becomes like a theft thing, and the wife kind of pressuring the head henchman, not the henchman, but the head of the gang to force her husband to perform the surgery. Really, really good film. I do highly recommend you check this out. Different kind of film than what Peter Cushing usually does. As far as I know, he usually plays a good guy, except for like in Star Wars. Okay, so there's that one, and I really enjoyed that one. So thank you, Aaron, for sending me that for my birthday, which was back in May. Okay, so just give you an example of how long ago that was. The second one was Night Train to Terror. This is a weird one, guys. I didn't quite get it at first. This is, of course, when I was watching it, it starts off in a train. It's an anthology film, and I remembered when I first got it that he mentioned that it was an anthology film, but I had forgotten until I popped it in again, and I saw it took place in a train. It starts off with kind of like a musical with these teenagers on a train, and they're singing like some 80s pop music, and then it cuts to this room, and then there's God and the devil. They're having this conversation about like heaven and hell, and just this deep discussion about good and evil, and then they're kind of referencing stories, and then every time it would cut to a story, there's a window to the side of them, and then they would look out the window, like it's stars, and then it changes to this the movie that they're going to showcase. Now here's the thing. Then at that point, that's when I realized, okay, yeah, this is an anthology. I love anthology films. Great. And then it was kind of weird because, I'll be honest with you, I didn't quite get the first story. The pace of the story was very, very weird. I've never seen an anthology film like this. It wasn't until near the end of the first story in this one, I started to think, wait a minute. I think they're just taking bits from films and condensing it, and then until they got into the second story, that's when I truly realized, yeah, that's what they're doing here. Okay, so anyways, so there's 3 stories in total. And the first story is, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I didn't quite get it. Something about, there's a hospital where they like to harvest the parts of people and just kill people and give them lobotomies when they don't really need it. That's what I got out of it in that case. It honestly, I was really confused by that first story. I didn't quite get that. I may have to see it again at some point. But it looked like, there's a doctor in there. There's a female doctor and her male henchman, and they capture people and then they perform lobotomies. And with the women, a lot of nudity, by the way, which I appreciated very much. You know that, and you see bush and everything, the whole nine. Um, and I believe the scene ends off where he's hacking off the pieces to this woman, and you do see her breasts, and hacking off her legs or arms and hanging. He has a separate room where he hangs them on the walls and he displays them like a trophy or something. Second story. Let me think. Can I remember what the hell the second story was? Oh, here. I can just obsessed with death. Yeah. Okay, that's what it was. Greta. No, what was it? Greta Myers. That's her name. And the other one was Claire Hansen. It gives me the first name. Okay, Greta Myers. It almost starts off like a Lucy Lovelace type story, the porn star thing. She gets into this porn business. She meets this guy. She's selling popcorn. That's what it was. And this guy came up to her, bought all the popcorn, and started courting her, and then made her into a porn star because she always wanted to be famous. One guy saw the porn in a college dorm and got obsessed with her and tracked her down, and finally, uh, uh, spotted her in this some club where she's playing the piano, and then now they're dating. He talks to her, and then they start dating. Now the guy who got her into the porn is jealous, so he's trying to find ways of killing him. So the one way, this is really really weird, guys. Um, it is almost like a Russian roulette type thing, where the first thing he holds like a type of seance type thing, where he has like 4 or 5 people, and the first one is like this bug, okay, like a giant mosquito thing, of which they used uh, stop motion, very very nicely done, cheesy, but I like my cheesy stop motion. Um, and it said that it has one sting in it, and it's a deadly sting, and when it stings you, then I guess it dies or something, and it kills you in a horrific way. So the test is you cannot move. So you're in a circle, sitting, in a circle, like in a séance, and they're just sitting there, and then they release the bug and it's flying around and it doesn't get anyone. Instead, it flies out the window, and then it kills this couple that are screwing, and it lands on the guy's face and it stings him, and then it flies away. I thought it was supposed to die, but whatever, it flies away. And then the woman that's on top of him, okay, she starts to scream because his face starts to kind of bubble up and pus, building with pus, and then it explodes and all this blood splashes on her. And then there's another roulette thing where it's like an electric chair type thing. If you get nervous, it'll kill you. So everyone is calm except this black gentleman who be looking like Rick James, mind you. he he gets he gets nervous somehow, and then again, practical effects. Oh, the whole thing's practical effects. They use like a claymation type thing on him, and he's like, he's shocked. He's getting shocked, electrocuting. Very beautifully well done. And then the end result is he's sitting there. His eyeballs popped out. His face is pretty much melted, and blood and gory. Have to see it to believe it. I was cracking up hysterically. I loved it. Um, and then the last thing they try to do, it's almost like there's a wrecking ball and it's spinning, and each time it goes around, there's like a blade thing, and it's cutting, and wherever it when it finally cuts, the momentum will land on someone. You're in a circle, it's lying down in like sleeping bags, and it can kill you. Um, but before that happened, actually, they thought that was the last of it, the last thing, electric chair thing, and they ran off. And it's kind of cool because when they're fucking, someone busts through their door, and it's the guy and his henchman, and then there's like a martial arts sequence. The guy is like it's kind of funny, he does some martial arts, but then that's what it leads to the wrecking ball thing. So they're lying in their sleeping bags, and then the wrecking ball falls, again, it doesn't hit the target because now he puts the woman, okay, the girlfriend, Greta, as a part of it now. I can't remember. Was she a part of it from the beginning? I really can't remember. I think she was always in it, and I don't know why he would risk her life. That doesn't make sense to me if he wants her. But I guess he's using the mentality if no one else can have, if I can't have it, then no one else can. That type of thing, I think, is what he's thinking. And a wrecking ball falls on this on the what do you call those people on the fortune teller? Okay, she was the one that was initiated, from the first part, and it fell on her face and smashes it. I don't think you really see it though, but I can imagine. Oh, I wish they would have shown that one. So I think you know what? I think they got away with it, and I think that was the end of that story. The final story is with Claire Hansen. Now she's married to. This is the longest story of them all. She's telling a story about not telling a story. She's having a dream about some kind of weird dream, like with the devil, and it turns out that her husband, she's married to this guy um, who doesn't believe in God anymore. Matter of fact, he wrote a book called God is Dead, and he goes on live television, okay, and he states that this is the kind of guy that if he made a YouTube video on this, he would get a lot of trolls and thumbs down and probably be banned from YouTube or something. But anyways, he goes on national TV and does this. Now there's another guy who's a devil. Mind you, all these stories seem like they're spliced together, kind of like a Cliff Notes version of the movie. I don't know if these are actual movies. I don't recall them. But then again, there's still quite a few horror movies that I'm unaware of. I don't know if these are just failed movies that never made it, so they decide to throw it in here and make a condensed version of it. That's what I'm guessing. Not too bad. This last one is pretty good. A lot of nudity. Let me see. Was there nudity in this one now? Because that last one had nudity as well with Greta, and you see Bush. But in this one, I don't recall if there was nudity or not. But anyways, so where was I? How can I explain this? Because the whole thing is like disjointed. There is a Paparia or whatever. He's a kind of like a padre or a priest or something, a monk, Paparia, and he's suspecting this guy since Nazi days, how he's never aged until, like 60 years. I'm going to try to speed this up, guys. And he goes to the cop. The cop doesn't believe, detective. The detective doesn't believe him until he ends up dead because he tries sneaking in there and something gets him. I won't say what. And he says, his last words were, "Look at the wall." Okay? So now the cop is suspicious of this. So he's looking, he finds out what he means by the wall. In his house, in his wall, he has all these clippings, these article clippings of that guy, okay, that he suspected, from Nazi days until now, which is, I think, is 1980. Was this film? 1985, guys. Holy crap! Seems like it's older. 1985. So in any case, so he's using a magnifying glass and he's looking. Wait a minute. Okay, their faces are the same, and he tells his partner, look at this. He goes, what the fuck is going on? Okay, so now they're onto something. So now that Nazi devil, turns out he's the devil, which again there's stop motion, great use of it, and holy fuck, okay, and 28 minutes. So long story short, I'm babbling on, right? There's, I was going to say, like, stop motion of the devil, when he's in his demonic form, it's all once again in a stop motion and various other things. He's trying to get that book author who doesn't believe in God to join his cause, and he doesn't want to join, and so God, the devil doesn't take no for an answer, so he takes care of him, and then what was I saying here? Oh yeah, so now the wife, let me see here. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's good enough. Let's just say that, because my mind is starting to go. I can't even remember how it really ended. Oh, okay. I think I kind of know. Something to the effect of, like I said, it's kind of disjointed, the story, and it moved in a weird pace. The devil kind of, like at the end, he gets away with it because somehow he gets captured, and this woman, who was this woman? You know what? I think the woman was the wife. of the guy who didn't believe in God, and somehow he's a surgeon. She's a surgeon, and she has a friend, and helping him with the surgery. I guess they're trying to embalm him. Okay, while the devil, tried to embalm the devil while he's knocked out, and then he wakes up. Okay, and then he manages to kill them both, and he walks out of there. And then we cut back. By the way, between stories, it cuts back to the devil and God, and to keep, have this banter going back and forth. Finally, and they're trying to get to this destination, which is the destination is to crash and die. So, and I guess, when we cut back, the conductor says, or the porter says, you know what, we're there. It's time. So it crashes. But just before then, the devil's saying, I get their souls. And he's saying, God's saying, nope, I'm getting their souls. So I think at the end, God gets their souls, if I recall it, yeah. And then you see the train now going to heaven, and the kids are still singing. Like I said, it's a really weird story, but I still kind of enjoyed it. So, okay, so now let me just go ahead and read the backs here real quickly, okay? Grindhouse Releasing is proud to present the first ever U.S. home video release of the wildest, sickest, and sleaziest swinging 60s British horror thriller Corruption. The legendary Peter Cushing stars as a surgeon driven to murder and madness as he attempts to restore the beauty of his hideously disfigured fashion model wife. I guess it was his wife. This special edition contains shocking scenes of gore and nudity previously deemed too strong for American audiences. Now, there's a reversible cover, which I won't show just in case I might get in trouble, but you see this cover here? If I reverse it, the alternate cover is she doesn't have her bra on. You see her titties, okay? Very, very nice. Love it. So, I don't know if I'll do it. I might, just for my own personal pleasure. Special features here, a spectacular new 2K digital restoration of the original uncensored version, alternate scenes of bloody violence and nudity never before seen in America, historic documents from the original production, including the director's personal shooting script, interviews with stars Billy Murray, Jane Waters, Wendy Varnells, and Peter Cushing, audio commentary with English Gothic author Jonathan Rigby and Peter Cushing biographer David Miller, liner notes of acclaimed UK horror journalist Alan Bryce, extensive galleries of stills and poster art, trailers, TV spots, and radio spots, and other surprises. I don't know if I mentioned it. Excuse me, Jesus Christ. I think I might have kind of cut myself off there, but when I was talking about this film, there was a beautiful chase scene between the young lady, and it's Peter Cushing and his wife, chasing her down through, out of the house, out through the front yard, and going to the beach, and it's one of the most intense chases I have seen, for, my personal opinion. That, and like The Fugitive is another one, with Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford. I love my chases. Usually it's like chase scenes with cars, but, I even like a good foot chase every now and then too, and this is one of the good ones. Okay, so now, Night Train to Terror. Aboard a fast-moving train bound for hell, God and Satan decide the fates of three unfortunate mortals. In Harry, a fiendish killer keeps the horribly mutated body parts of his countless victims in a diabolical torture chamber. In Greta, a young woman obsessed with death, takes part in an unspeakable ritual of Russian roulette. Finally, in Claire, a young woman and a Holocaust survivor are terrorized by the son of Satan. It's outrageous, guys. Night Train to Terror comes to you on home video for the very first time in its original aspect ratio and restored 2K. Okay, that's surprising. From 35mm film elements for an old film like this. And then, for features, we have an interview with producer-director Jay Schlossenberg-Cohen, interview with assistant director Wayne Schmidt, bonus feature film Greta, DVD only. I just saw Greta, what the fuck? Commentary track by Hysteria continues. The Hysteria continues. Theatrical trailer. 1985, guys, in color 93 minutes. Aspect ratio 1.85 by 1. And this one has no info for me. I think it says 1968 is when it was made, but it doesn't tell me how long it is. I'm sorry, guys. I think it's like 91 minutes for some reason. It's 91 minutes for the cut version, okay? And the uncut version, for some reason, is 90 minutes long. So very, very odd indeed. So there we go. It's my review for both Corruption and Night Train to Terror. Thank you very much, Mr. Aaron Pynn, for this very generous send. once again, head on over to his channel, give him a sub. Happy Halloween, guys, and if you haven't already, also subscribe to The Horror Globe. I'm Falagar. Sub to me if you like what you see, and check out some of my other reviews. Thank you guys for watching. Love you all, and farewell.